Hey there, I'm Charlotte Smith and this is rawmilkpro.com, and it's your place to get tips and ideas on how to run a successful and sustainable raw milk dairy. And today I'm going to talk about calves and what to do with them. I get asked a lot, what do we do with our newborn calves? And I just want to say up front that you have to decide what works for you in your situation, whether you're a small homestead or a raw milk dairy, because it's going to be different for everybody. I learned early on 6 years ago what I need to do to make sure our small family farm is safe, and one of the keys to that is we don't keep our calves on our mother cows once they're born, but that may be different to you. One of the first eye-openers, because when I started 6 years ago, I was somewhat idealistic, and I thought, well, we'll put the calf on to nurse it in the day, and then we'll pull it off at night so we can get the mother's milk in the morning. And that was great. Brought home my first cow. We milked her for a few months, 6 months or so, and then we dried her off to get ready to calve. And then she had her first calf on our farm, the first one, and it was all wonderful. And the newborn calf was laying there on the ground, and I went up to give it the initial vaccinations, and the mother ran past me, and I wasn't really paying attention, and I turned around, and the mother had my 3-year-old daughter on the ground, and she was stomping her feet right next to my daughter's head, and she would have killed her. I think she just, maybe there was one little part of her that said, okay, she's not really a predator, don't kill her, but that was the only thing that stopped her. And I decided in that moment that it was not worth my idealistic vision on our small dairy. We are really limited in Oregon. If we sell raw milk, we can only have 3 cows or fewer. So I needed all the raw milk from those cows, and I could not afford to risk the life of any of my children because we're a small family farm. But we also have lots of customers come on our farm every day, and they're able to go out and see the cows. And when you get a cow like that particular cow who is just really super protective of her calf, which many of them can be, they can be the sweetest, nicest cows, acting like big Labrador retrievers up until that calf is born. And then as soon as it's born, they turn into this mama bear, and they will kill to protect their babies. So once you experience that, then you can decide what works for you and your farm. Also, we're a woman-run, woman-owned operation. Most of my employees are women, and we just aren't quite as strong as the guys in my family who could take that calf down and, tie it up if they had to. We aren't able to do that. So it has to work for you and your farm. And if you have customers that come to you and criticize you and say, well, we're not going to drink your milk from your farm because you take the babies away from their mamas, then those aren't your customers. Let them go somewhere else, because there are other people who will do that. But you need to decide what works for you. And again, I reiterate that everyone is going to have something different that works for them. So I was going to explain what I did this latest calf that was born. This is Eamon here. He is 5 weeks old, and he's actually half brown Swiss and half Simmental beef cow. So he is growing up way big. And what happened was I have a Jersey cow who I was going to retire anyway. The timing was perfect. And so I grafted him onto this Jersey cow so that I don't have to bottle feed him for, 5 months. She's doing all that work. And I still have my 3 milk cows that we can sell the milk from. So once Eamon was born, he was born about 10 o'clock at night. And I left him with his mother until 6 in the morning because I just, we were all tucked into bed for the night, and I know from experience that they were going to be fine. So I left him until morning, and then what we did was we brought his mother in to milk as usual, and she went into the milking stanchion because her udder was huge, as he stayed outside, and she didn't look twice. So she was, interestingly enough, she was done with him at that point. And we milked her, and we got the colostrum. I put it in a bottle, and I fed it to him. And we moved him to a place on our farm that's out of sight and out of hearing distance of the mother cows. And for the first day, I made sure that he just got his mother's colostrum, actually for about the first 48 hours. Then what I did is I had Francine here, and I put them together, and she a lot of Jerseys, I've had really good success with old Jersey cows adopting new babies, just piece of cake, they immediately take them. But Francine wasn't as willing to do that this time. So she kept kicking him off, and I had to keep bottle feeding him that first day. But I got this great idea. I took her hay, and it was kind of spread out on the ground, and I sprinkled just 1 scoop of grain all across that hay. And she just voraciously went after that grain, and it took her about 10 minutes or so to pick out every single kernel out of her pile of hay. And because she was working so hard at getting the grain, she did not notice that Eamon was nursing, and she didn't kick him off. And I fed her that grain about twice a day for 4 days, and each time she would let him nurse longer and longer. And after 4 days, I didn't need to feed the grain anymore. She was letting him nurse for several minutes at a time, just enough to fill himself up, and then she'd kick him off. And then by the end of the first week, she had 100% adopted him as her own, and now she loves him, she adores him, and she's going to be raising him the next 5 months. So it is, a calf is healthier if they can nurse off their mother. Just hands down, no way about it. Your calf will be stronger and healthier if you can do that, which is why I love it when I have a nurse cow I can put my calf onto. They will be healthier than a bottle-fed calf. I at least make sure the calves get the mother's colostrum, and they get their mother's milk the first week of their life, even if it's me feeding it to them out of a bottle. And the reason I do that is their mother's milk has antibodies that are specific to their baby. So the longer I can keep him on his own mother's milk, the healthier he will be. And I just love to make sure that they get the best start in life possible. So after that first week, if we have extra milk from any of the cows, it doesn't matter so much. Usually what I have to do, though, if I don't have a nurse cow to take over, is I will have to buy milk replacer for the calf, and I will have to bottle feed the calf this milk replacer for about 8 weeks. But if there's any way you can get that calf out with other cows, they will learn how to graze that much quicker. And I mean, they will be grazing from day 1 or day 2, they'll be nibbling at the grass. Versus if you are bottle feeding them and they're all alone, it will take them maybe 3-4 weeks before you see them nibble on grass. So there's no doubt about it, they're healthier with the mother, but not everyone can do that. If you don't have the space or the money or the feed available or the pasture available for a nurse cow, and you have to choose to bottle feed it, you can still do that. Just make sure it's got the vaccinations it needs to be healthy, and it got its colostrum at first. The other really important thing I didn't mention is once a mother gives birth, she has to lick her cow dry in order to stimulate her hormones to do what they need to do for her body to heal. So even if, God forbid, your calf is born dead, you still need to let the mother lick the calf off. Let it be with the calf for 20-30 minutes at least, and lick it. And at some point she'll realize it's not gonna get up, and she'll lose interest, but she still has to lick that calf dry to stimulate her hormones, helping her heal. So that's really important, and I've never had to deal with a calf being born dead, thank goodness, and I hope I never do. Ours are born super healthy, and I think that's because, our cows are out on grass. We graze them every day of the year, and we make sure they have all their minerals so that, and they have really super good body condition, so that by the time they calve, they're in the best shape possible. And then they have super healthy calves too. So this guy, his mother Francine will raise him for about 5 months until he's big enough to fend for himself out with the other beef cows. And when we get some Angus yearlings this spring, he will go out with, Angus weanlings this spring. He will go out in the pasture with those weanlings, and we'll wean him off Francine. That is how I deal with our dairy cows giving birth on our farm. I take the calves away after an hour or several hours, and I either bottle feed them and raise them myself, or I put them on a nurse cow, and that way our milk cow goes right into our milking herd so that we can sell that milk and so that we can remain sustainable. So thank you so much for joining me. I would love to hear what is your technique? What do? Do you keep your cows on your mom? Do you do on the mother, or do you do a shared system? Just scroll down below this video into the comment section and let me and everyone else who looks at these videos from all over the world now know what you do, because we can all learn from each other, and none of us has any reason to judge anyone else. We all do what we have to do to make our farm successful. So share in the comments and I'll see you there. Thank you.